in Western culture, we tend to come at everything through the intellect. And I know myself, every time something went off in my life, it was because of emotions. And
Mhm.
they take over your mind when
Mhm.
you are stressed, when you are angry, when you are frustrated, hurt, whatever is going on, it literally changes your
Yeah.
brain. And so how do we approach that? So I
Yeah.
have dedicated the last 30 years to working with people with different kinds of modalities and to help regulate our nervous system, regulate our emotions, and then come to that clarity through our heart and our soul.
I really take a holistic view of money because, just like Lauren was saying, that we're so focused on the intellect. With money, we're so focused on the numbers. We think that
Yeah.
money is all about the numbers.
Yeah,
But
right.
I think there's even a bigger game to play. Money invites us to look at our priorities, it invites us to get creative, it invites
Mhm.
us to see life in a different way that
Yeah.
isn't always about the numbers. And
Right.
maybe we're learning how to receive or how to have boundaries or how to ask for help. Those are all the different ways that
Mhm.
impact us both emotionally, but definitely financially as well.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And I am here with half of the Vivitude team, our brand new program that we are about to launch on YouTube that supports that women 40 plus. So a little bit about the program, which I'm very excited, is that we are centering all of our content around a study that was done through the University of Colorado called the 8 Foundational Principles of Wellness. Now, what are those principles? We've talked about it a lot. We had a program for several summers for those of you that are loyal listeners called the Vitality Revolution. You may remember that. It was very, very popular with our listeners. And so as a result, what we're excited about is having this opportunity to even expand that even more with experts that can speak to the different principles. Okay, number one, emotional and spiritual wellness. Emotional and spiritual wellness are very tied in. And Lauren, you are absolutely the right person. You and I have been friends on Facebook for a very long time, but we had never met in person. I don't even remember exactly how we came together, but it's like I felt like now that we've met, you're like a soul sister to me in so many ways. Tell us a little bit about your background, Lauren.
Okay, well, thanks, Suzanne. Yes, this is just so well timed. I have a background in corporate communications, but I left because I didn't want to devote my time, my precious time and energy making certain salespeople rich. So
Right.
I wanted to use the power of communications to change lives for the better.
Yeah.
And I have been drawn to consciousness, spirituality, wellness, fitness, all of those fields. And one thing about emotional wellness that a lot of people don't quite get, and that is we tend to come in Western culture, we tend to come at everything through the intellect. And I know myself, I was completely, every time something went off in my life, it was because of emotions. And
Mhm.
they take over your mind when
Mhm.
you are stressed, when you are angry, when you are frustrated, hurt, whatever is going on, it literally changes your
Yeah.
brain. And so how do we approach that? So I
Yeah.
have dedicated the last 30 years to working with people on
Mhm.
different kinds of modalities and to help regulate our nervous system, regulate our emotions, and then come to that clarity through our heart and our soul.
Yes. And you know, the thing that you're saying, talking about emotions, how often do women over the age of 40, I know me, we stuff our feelings because
Absolutely.
we're, especially in the working world or whatever, we're not allowed to have a feeling about anything, or they're just overreacting. There's all these terminologies that happen. And especially if you're frustrated with caregiving, it's like oftentimes, you know, the one that doesn't speak up in a family unit is the one that is the sacrificial lamb. They're the ones that aren't taking care of themselves. So we really invite those of you that are kind of resonating with this, Lauren will be doing one show per month on our channel. And we're very excited that you'll be doing and stepping into this. And now, Kate, this is like a whole new thing with family caregivers. When I was a caregiver, I lost my job. I lost my house. I completely imploded because I was overwhelmed. I couldn't, and the reason was because my mom was in the hospital and I was in a very high pressure sales organization. And I said, and my mother is there in the hospital saying, please don't leave me, and in intensive care. And my boss is saying, you can't have time off. It's not allowed.
Crazy.
And what happens is where does your allegiance go? I had to be there for my mom.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so the fact is I think that we're being asked to make sometimes incomprehensive decisions in the process. And so, Kate, you lived a similar story, but how do in the financial picture, what goes on right now with caregivers, and how can they even begin to think that there's life after?
Yes. The word sandwich generation. I know I felt very squeezed from both generations at the time, because the statistics are showing us that about 1 in 4, people who are in their 50s, 40s, 50s, they are sometimes still helping their children get situated in life, and now they're helping their elderly parents. And then when you add caregiving into the mix, I think it is 16% of people, like, they're not accepting their maybe what would be a promotion, or they're stepping away from their jobs, or they are not working the hours that they used to work. So we're sort of being pinched from all different directions. And I really take a holistic view of money, because just like Lauren was saying, that we're so focused on the intellect. With money, we're so focused on the numbers. We think that money is all about the numbers. But I think there's even a bigger game to play. That, as you said, where does my allegiance go? Because money invites us to look at our priorities. It invites us to get creative. It invites us to see life in a different way that isn't always about the numbers. And there are these skills that we're learning. Maybe we're learning how to receive, or how to have boundaries, or how to ask for help. Those are all the different ways that impact us both emotionally, but definitely financially as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kate, one of the things that I think of is sometimes caregivers, family caregivers, they feel like they don't have any purpose anymore, because their own purpose is so tied up in caring for that loved one. I see that a lot with spouses, that they never get out of the house, and they take on way more than they really should. And so what happens is when you lose that purpose of who you are, that's when everything in my mind, spins out of control. So a lot of your role will be about not losing sight of that. Stepping forward to, you cannot give to someone from an empty vessel.
No.
You have to take care of yourself. And how often do we say this to a family caregiver of, you've got to find time for yourself. And I always hear the excuse, well, I don't have time. I can't do this. I can't do that. Then find a way. There is always a way. There's, we hope that Vivitude is going to be there, obviously, for you as a community that can support you in thinking outside the box for your life, thinking about how you can make better choices with the things that you're doing and still have a full life and feel good about what you're doing. Just because you take time for yourself does not necessarily mean you need to feel guilty for that. I remember saying I needed a me day once a month, and then I felt guilty.
That's for sure.
Day, and so obviously this is very important. So in the meantime, for those of you, please join our Facebook page. More information is coming soon. Our Facebook page is Vivatude, Vivatude. And we'll be right back, everyone, right after this. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.